Hey guys, so it's, what day is it? Friday now. And you know when the whole week passes you by and you're like, I actually didn't do any of the things that I said I was gonna do this week. So I'm going back to the library today, but I also think I'm going to go to Indigo as well and just have a nice little bookstore day. Maybe get a new candle, maybe get a nice pillow, maybe get a book. I don't know. Do I need any of those things? Yes, I do, absolutely. You know what? 25 is the year of just being kind to myself, you know, and getting myself things that I want. It's almost been a full week of me being 25. Wow. I honestly thought that it would feel a lot more scary than it does. For some reason, when I turned 24, I was so scared. I was so like, oh my god, I'm getting old. Oh my god, everything. That's not the right side. I was having such scaries, and for some reason this year, maybe it's just because my mental health also is better. Hey, that's good. I was like, you know what? No, I have time. Just try and take a little step back for a second and just realize it's not that serious. It's really not. And I don't know if this is just my frontal lobe developing in front of you right now, and I don't think I'm like reinventing the wheel here, but you know, we say all these things, and I've said all these things to myself so much over the span of my life, but I don't know if I ever really like believed it in my heart, but now I finally do just believe it. I'm going to go to the library today, and then I'm gonna go to Indigo and get myself a little treat. Do we like this? This is the issue with having larger boobs. I feel like everything I wear, I look frumpy in it because they like push everything out and it makes me look large. Or that is just my extreme body dysmorphia. Okay? Could be that. But then I'm like, should I wear a zip up? But I think that this looks cuter. Hey, it doesn't matter. Hey, it doesn't matter, so. I realized I didn't film myself like at all today. I did have a really fun day. I went to this like super awesome cafe that I've wanted to go to for a really long time, and they host like cool wine nights and like dance parties on the weekends. I became friends with the barista, and she was like, you should come for our dance parties, like the vibe is totally different. So I was like, sold. I read some more of Castle of Otranto, which is really cool and interesting. It's just so old and gothic and I love it. And I read a lot of my play, More Stately Mansions, that I need to read for school because I'm doing a monologue. And tomorrow I think I'm going to do a similar thing, somewhere closer though, because I'm going to an awards ceremony tomorrow with my dad. Good morning. I just have a lot of homework to do today. I need to memorize a monologue and read a play. And I'm gonna try and go to another cafe today because I really enjoy doing that, but I'm not sure where. I don't really have the time to go all the way downtown. I'm that person that like when I have plans in the evening, I can't do anything all day because I will just be stressed out that I won't make it home in time. I don't know if that's like an ADHD thing, but or OCD, I don't know, but I can't do it.
Jumped over the creek and you stuck it. You're able and focused. Whatever has your mind gets sharpened.
If you guys live in a big city, you know that, sorry, I'm standing weirdly because my coffee table is right here. If you guys live in a big city, you know that leaving the house costs immediately $100. And I fear I went to go have coffee with my friend and came home with some merchandise that I was not privy previously to leaving the house that I would end up with. And I feel like I should share what it is because they're kind of cozy and nice. So one second. I did have to go to Sephora because I did need a new eyebrow pencil. And so I got my new eyebrow pencil, but then I also got the Glossier You perfume in Rev. And then I got the Rhode lip tint in PB&J, which actually is beautiful. It's like really worn off, but it's very like subtle and perfect color. The perfect color, honestly. Worth the hype, I would argue. This scent, I have like the regular You scent, and it is so good. But I sniffed this one in store, and look at the beautiful like packaging and coloring. Oh my god, it's so good. It's like fruity but fresh and like amazing. Can you guess if those three things were over $100? You'd be correct. And then, as if that wasn't enough, I then went to Indigo just to say I was gonna sit down and work. And I should know better by now that that's not at all what just happens when I go to Indigo. But on the bright side, I got a free tote bag. So I got a free tote bag with a bunch of books on it, which is cute, because I spent over $50. Because I bought the Love and Lore PJ set. Because I've wanted these for a very long time. I just would never buy them. So I was like, you know what? Today I was with one of my best friends and she was like, just get them. And I said, you're so right, because I deserve it, and I do. And so let's just unpackage them. They came in this cute little sack, if you will. How does one, oh my god, that perfume smells so good. And I've wanted the baby blue ones for a really long time because I think they'll bring out my eyes. Like, are you joking? They're so soft. The matching bottoms, of course. Hashtag wearing. There is just something about going to bed and waking up in like a matching PJ set that is so chic. You know, and I feel like I already have gotten my day started off. Sorry, I had to readjust my Mando Lego because he was falling off the edge of my bookshelf. I also did get a coffee because, well, that's an essential. So I'm gonna go unpack this and then let's talk about books. And then my sister and her boyfriend and my nephew dog are coming for dinner, so it's gonna be wonderful. But we'll talk about books. Okay guys, let's talk about books. I tried my best to read spooky books this month. Not all of them spooky, but there were definitely some goodies and some and I'm excited to talk about them because I would love a second opinion on some of them because I don't really know how I feel, to be real. Guys, I've been really loving Fable. May I just say that? May I speak plainly? I'm not gagged at Goodreads anymore. I feel like Goodreads had its time and it's past. I don't know if I'm the only one feeling that way, but I love Fable. It's just so much prettier and like the fun spooky themes outlining what you've been reading. Oh my god. Okay, let's see. So I read in October 5 books, and I've already read one book in November that I finished yesterday. So let's talk about it. Okay, so the first book I read in October was the Drew Off Wallow book, Loud. Drew Off Wallow. It was cute. It was perfect. You know, I just, like, it was a self-help, not really self-help, but it was just like you learn about her life story, and I love her. I'm not a huge fan of like self-help kind of books. Like, I think they're good, but I feel weird rating them stars. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it depends on the person who's reading the book very much so regarding like how they would rate that book. Did I just speak proper English? I don't know. But the tea is, I think I rated this, I gave it 4 stars, so still a great rating. It was lovely, and it was just a good reminder to like not put yourself down or like compromise your light and emotions and talent for others, especially men. And I think that's really important to talk about right now because the dating scene is bleak. The dating scene is very bleak, and it's very easy to fall into the trap of dimming yourself for a man to like you more, because we are taught from birth to do that. And it's just like, It was a great wake-up call because I had some experiences recently with men where I was like, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel the need to like not speak as loud or to not like show off that I'm actually smart on a certain subject? You understand? It's interesting. Yeah, it was good. 4 stars. The next one I read was The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This was my first Riley Sager book. I have heard mixed reviews about him. I hear that like this is the only book people read by him and liked, and they've read other ones and didn't like them as much. This is the only one that I've read, so I can only speak from this book specifically, but I liked it a lot. I thought that the plot was really interesting, and there is a very large twist near the end, of course, that is very interesting as well. And honestly, I wasn't really expecting it. I'm one of those people that I don't really try to guess. Like, I don't like getting ahead of myself and I'm gonna guess what the plot twist is. I just kind of let myself enjoy the ride so that it's more surprising in the end. But honestly, I feel like even if you are one of those people, it would still be surprising. I feel like I should say what it's about, probably. It's about this young woman. I think she's like 25. She's in her like mid to late 20s. And she is a caregiver for older people. And you find out that she was a caregiver for her mother, and this isn't really a spoiler, and then her mother passed away, and she like lost her job because people were blaming her for her mother's passing because she wasn't a good enough caregiver or whatever, and then she starts she gets hired as the caregiver for this old woman in this like creepy estate on the top of a cliff who is rumored to have murdered her whole family when she was 17. Hey, you couldn't pay me to do that. But she was kind of desperate because she couldn't get hired anywhere else because everyone thinks she killed her mom. The whole story is set in this mansion on this cliff. And it's a whodunit, you know, like she's gradually starting to uncover the story behind, her name is Lenora Hope, I think. She's trying to like uncover the story behind what actually happened with her and did she actually kill her whole family and this, that, and the other thing. And my sister's calling me. Hello? Hi. I believe we do have parm. I think we got a big block of parm, actually. Dad? Yeah? Do we have Parmesan? Yeah. Yes, we do. Okay. Sorry, had to do a parm audit. Anyways, it reminded me of Clue. Like, if you like Clue, you know, it's like a bunch of the workers. There's like the butler and the housekeeper and the like, who killed the family? And anyway, I guess I should, Lenora Hope, who she's caregiving to, is like 78 years old or something, and she's mute and immobile. So obviously, since she's mute, she can't tell our main character what actually happened. So it's kind of this like weird, she types on a typewriter to her, weird messages and like clues as to what happened and stuff. Anyways, great plot twists in the end. I did kind of feel like there were some parts of it in the end that was like, lazy feels like an aggressive thing to say, but I just feel like Mr. Sager he put all these crazy subplots kind of, and then just ended it and like bitched out on the resolution to some of them a bit. That, like, at least for me, that's kind of what it felt like a bit. Like, in the end, there was a few things I was like, wait, but what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And what was the relevance of this to the rest of the story? You know, there was a bit of that. But it was good. I rated this what did I rate this? 3.5. Okay. The next one that I read was Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica and Sarah Moses. This was so fucked. In a great way. Trigger warnings out the yin yang. Like, it's essentially it's a dystopian story about this virus that basically infects all animals on Earth. So nobody is able to eat any animal meat anymore, or really any animal products. Like, everyone kind of has to go vegan all of a sudden, but they still want meat. So it's about if human beings there were human being slaughter farms, and then cannibalism becomes legalized and everybody is allowed to eat human meat now.
And the story follows our main character, Marcos, who works in a slaughterhouse, a human slaughterhouse. And it is so disturbing, and like there was one part in the book that had to do with animals that I had to skip, actually, because I couldn't. It's funny, like when it comes to humans I can deal with it, but the second that it's like hurting animals, I genuinely can't stomach it. But the entire book is essentially about just how the industry of special meat, they call it, works. One day Marcus is given a gift, a live specimen of the finest quality. Though he's aware that any form of personal contact is forbidden between like regular people and the people who are brought up as cattle. Little by little, Marcus starts to treat this woman like a human being, and soon he becomes tortured by what has been lost and what might still be saved. It is so disturbing, but it is so interesting, and there are so many philosophical and like existential questions within this book that I found fascinating. Like, what does it mean to be human? How do you differentiate between a regular person and one of the people that are like bred in captivity and then slaughtered and then eaten? Because that's what we do to animals. And it sounds very like, ooh ha, vegan, the vegans are coming to get revenge, but it wasn't. It was done in such a way. And then there's this whole part where like the super rich people like pay to go to these fucked up parties where they hunt these people in the woods and then kill them and then eat them together. And it's just fucked. But I honestly loved it, because I just love a book where you can read so much between the lines. You understand? It's perfect. So I gave it 4 stars. If you are like squeamish and don't like really disturbing like kind of body horror stuff, then I would avoid this one. Then I read a play, More Stately Mansions by Eugene O'Neill. I had to read this for school because I'm doing a monologue from this play. Very, very interesting. It's basically revolves around a family, the son, Simon, and it basically revolves around the relationship between him, his mother, and his wife. And his mother and wife hate each other's guts because Simon manipulates both of them into hating each other, because he will go to his mom. They have a weird kind of borderline incestuous thing going on, so ooh, you know what I mean? And he, goes to his mom and says, "You're the only woman that I care about. Like, Sarah's just a hoe and just like tries to seduce me, and I don't really like her that much." Mind you, that's his wife, who he says he loves every day, and they have 2 kids together. Yet another man manipulating 2 women and making them hate each other and go crazy. And by the end, everybody loses their shit. Eugene O'Neill does not spare people in his plays. Like, literally by the end, everyone loses their mind. So if you're a play reader, or you're an actor, or you like reading plays or seeing plays, there were some things in it that were very dated. Like, at times it kind of felt like Eugene O'Neill thought that women were kind of stupid and are very easily manipulated. Like there were certain times where I was like, oh, King, who hurt you? Who hurt you? Because it seems like a young woman may have hurt your feelings, and now you're writing misogynistic things in a play. But it still has its value, I think. I think it's still a very interesting play. But anyways, Then I read The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. This book is considered like kind of the first Gothic novel. It's like the grandpappy of Gothic literature, and it was great. I listened to it on audiobook on Spotify, and the narration was fantastic. It was like the Penguin Random House audiobook narration. This lovely British man narrated the book, who obviously like has his PhD in English, and he killed it. And it was great. It basically, I'll read the synopsis because I honestly can't really remember. It's a very dense book, like I have to read the sentences a few times because my brain is rotted. Containing a combination of tropes like hidden passages, haunted paintings, mysterious sounds, skeletal ghosts, and ancestral curses, and unexplained deaths. It essentially invented the genre, later made famous by authors like Edgar Allan Poe, Bram Stoker, and Henry James. Can I speak today? That would be nice. The plot centers around Manfred, the Lord of Otranto Castle, who has just witnessed the death of his son under mysterious circumstances. Just as his son was about to be married, Manfred is thrust into a galloping and melodramatic series of events that lean heavily on the supernatural. Walpole initially eventually published The Castle of Otranto under a pseudonym, claiming that his work was a translation of an ancient Italian manuscript. This is really interesting if you're a nerd like me. This framing, along with the purposefully archaic writing style, gives the supernatural airs of the novel a decidedly authentic flavor. It was great. If you are, trying to get into Gothic literature and just old, creepy, autumnal books, this would be a great place to start. It's very short. It didn't take me very long to read, and it was great. I gave it 3.5 stars. And lastly, the book that I finished yesterday, I read The Vegetarian by Han Kang. I thought a light tender is the flesh. A lot of very interesting questions are brought up, but let me tell you the synopsis and then you can make your own decisions. Before the nightmares began, Young Hae and her husband lived an ordinary, controlled life, but the dreams, invasive images of blood and brutality torture her, driving Young Hae to purge her mind and renounce eating meat altogether. It's a small act of independence, but it interrupts her marriage and sets into motion an increasingly grotesque chain of events at home. As her husband, her brother-in-law, and sister each fight to reassert their control, Young Hae obsessively defends the choice that's become sacred to her, and soon their attempts turn desperate, subjecting first her mind and then her body to ever more intrusive and perverse violations, sending Young Hae spiraling into a dangerous, bizarre estrangement, not only from those closest to her, but also from herself. This was very dark. I haven't done much research on it since finishing it, which I have been meaning to do because I do have a lot of questions. And I think there's a large part of it that revolves around like a metaphor of mental health and kind of feeling like you're rotting from the inside out, living such a mundane life that may look great on the outside, but on the inside you're like begging to have any sort of change or excitement in your life. And also kind of like, I would interpret it as a bit of the parasitic effect of a very sick person in a family and how it kind of affects everybody else in the family. And it's very interesting because this is one of those books where there's not really a single likable character in the book. Like everyone kind of sucks or is just really weird and not in a fun way, Like the husband is horrible, a terrible person. I won't spoil anything, but does horrible things to her, to Young Hae. And it was great. Honestly, I think I'm going to do more research on it because I would love to see what other people's interpretations of it was. Yeah, again, trigger warnings with like sexual violence and a bit of body horror stuff, eating disorder, heavy trigger on the eating disorder. But yeah, it was very interesting, but I don't think I would read it again. Like it didn't change my life in any way. Like I think I would read Tender is the Flesh again, but I don't know if I would read The Vegetarian. I gave this 3 stars. 3 stars. And now I'm reading Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which is sitting over there, and I'm just too lazy to stand up and hold it. So there, sequel to Vicious by V.E. Schwab. And again, V.E. Schwab is my favorite author. And if you've been here long enough at livyslib, you know that well. And I love V.E. Schwab so much. So that's going well. I also wanted to start reading a new spooky book on audiobook, but I don't really know what to read. There's a few things that come to mind. I would love to read more gothic stuff like Castle of Otranto. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that, again, I've taken so long to film another video. That's life, and life happens, and I'm still here because I really love doing this for you guys, and I love you guys, and I miss you. I do. I miss you a lot. Happy fall. Best season of the year, in my opinion. Hope you all had a very fun and safe Halloween. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so this was my Halloween costume. I was Ash from Fantastic Mr. Fox for Halloween, and I walked into a party filled with beautiful women wearing gorgeous, beautiful costumes, and I kind of looked like a toe amidst them, but that's okay. And there was a bunch of men there too that not a single man knew who I was, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, I got Alvin and the Chipmunks a lot. I was like, what Alvin and the Chipmunks were you watching? My socials are livyslib and olivialloydbaker on Instagram. Goodreads, Fable, all that good stuff is also livyslib. Subscribe for more if you liked this video. Make sure to drop a like as well. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. And let me know what you're reading right now, because I'm kind of at a weird, I don't know what to read next. And I have a lot of books that I do actually need to read, so I should be doing that, but I can't help but just, the grass is always greener on the other side of indigo. Love you guys.